Most of us see hype as a negative thing, but what if I told you that sometimes hype is totally deserved? Hi, I'm Olivier and welcome to Horologique. Today we are going to be discussing 10 watches that I believe deserve all of the hype that they're getting and then some more. And of course, many watches would deserve to be on this list, but as usual in this channel we focus on the entry level, so we will be discussing watches until around the $300 to $400 mark. We are going to be seeing all of the watches featured in this video I have reviewed, or I have with me. I actually have like 9 with me right here, right next to me. I always put my money where my mouth is, so I really have first-hand experience with these watches. I own most of them, so I know what I'm talking about. But before we delve right into it, 90% of you who watch this channel are not subscribed, so if you could just please consider subscribing so I can keep on bringing you this kind of content, I would really appreciate it. And of course, you can find the reviews of these watches and the links to the best prices for these watches in the description of the video. Well, let's get to the watches right away. The first watch of the selection is also the most inexpensive of them, starting at around $12, and it is of course the Casio F91W. This little legend, you know about this watch, it costs so little, it offers you so much. Go check the review that I have done, you'll see all the details about this watch if you don't know already. But why do I put it on this list? Well, because this watch is a monument of watchmaking. These kind of little pieces, everybody on the planet can wear an icon of horology. Pretty much everybody on the planet can afford to buy one, and that is why the Casio F91W is iconic and totally deserves the huge hype that it gets. The second watch of the selection, and of course I'm going to be talking about the Seagull 1963, so pretty much the 1963 with the ST1901 movement in it. This one is not made by Seagull. If you want the Seagull version, you will have to pay the big bucks, like $600 or $700. What I have found up to now to be the best quality are the ones made by Red Star that I'm gonna leave in the links below, and they come at around $100 to $110, even less during the sales. So yeah, what can we say about this watch once again that we have not said before? 38 millimeters in diameter. It is a mechanical column wheel chronograph for that price. That is absolutely incredible. If you want to get the equivalent from a Swiss manufacturer, you have to pay at least $1,500, and if you want to get the same from a Japanese manufacturer now, because I believe Seiko does about the same, you have to pay at least $900. So yeah, this offers it for so much less. And if you flip the watch, you can see that amazingly beautiful movement in there. The downsides of this watch is that even though that movement comes from a 1940s Swiss movement, the Venus 175, it is old and it is fragile, so you cannot just put this watch on and go ahead and play rugby or whatever, or ride your bike on rough terrain. No, that is out of the question. But you can wear this watch to the office or to whatever you like and still wear it and use the chronograph just perfectly. So that is why, for the price, this watch deserves totally the huge hype that it gets as well. The third watch of the selection is a watch that used to get a lot of hype. It still kind of does, and I totally agree with that hype, and I have agreed from the beginning. It is of course the Orient Kamasu. We're up to 3 iterations now, but I believe that the first version is the most beautiful. Definitely you can find it for a little bit over $200 now, and while the Kamasu has its flaws, let's be clear about that. The case is not the most complex, there's no bevels, there's nothing special, but that face is just so elegant. It is an elegant diver with 200 meters of water resistance, with a crown that many consider small, another of its flaws, but it does have sapphire crystal and an automatic date movement that is in-house. So if you add all that up, it brings it to a pack that is just wonderful. The bracelet is going to be something that does the job, but it's not that great, but for the price it really doesn't matter that much. But besides from that, the Orient is just great, and I truly recommend it, especially at that price. Once again, dying high, but totally deserved. Baltany is a new company, a company that came, I think, around 2-3 years ago, and that just stormed the watch world at the time, at least the entry-level watch world, because they proposed entry-level military watches from AliExpress, of course, of extremely high quality. And you know about the Bicompax and the Tricompax. I have the Tricompax, and it is absolutely great. I am sure the Bicompax, which is more popular, is as well, but these watches do deserve all the hype that they get. They're around for around $150 or so, and for that money you have the best sapphire glass in the business, south of, I would say, $1,000 or even $2,000. I have seen comparable things, but you have to go to Omega or to Breitling to get that. That is level of quality from their glasses. And you get the quality of their finishing, especially on the chronographs. I was a little bit disappointed of what they sent me. They sent me a diver lately that I'm not gonna review because it's a little bit disappointing, so I'm not gonna review that. But the chronographs are just extremely good quality. Well made, well finished, as I said, spectacular sapphire crystals, and the Seiko Mega Quartz movement. For the price it is just great. They came and they filled the gap of the military chronograph that was pretty much untapped up to that time, especially at this price point. They made big bucks out of it, but now they have a lot of competition, Militado especially, and others, which is good. Competition is really good, but still I do believe that the Baltany chronographs, I do believe that they are pretty much the best. They're more expensive, significantly more than the Militados, for example, but they are better. Choose whichever you want compared to your cash. I have reviewed both the Baltanys and the Militados. I have even pit them against them. So once again, choose whichever you want for the money you're willing to spend. Let's get back to Casio. We'll always get back to Casio, of course, God tier. And here is a watch that is one of the best-selling watches ever, and that it still sells like hotcakes, and it is, of course, the G-Shock. This is the classic square G-Shock, the GW-M5610, and this is the multi-band tough solar version. This one goes around for $100 to $110, and for that you get so much functionality, so much ruggedness, and a package that is wrist-friendly. It is not small, pretty much no G-Shock is small, but it is so good, and it is so resistant. You can have it run over by a car and nothing will happen to it. It is absolutely amazing. When the ancestor of this watch, the first square G-Shock, was invented in 1983, Casio wanted a watch that lasted 10 years on a battery and that could survive a drop from 10 meters. Those were the requirements, and this watch is just splendid. Oh, and it is 200 meters water resistant, so you can absolutely dive with this watch. And also, it is a legend of watchmaking. Absolutely nobody, unless they're real fools, can see you wearing this watch and say that you know nothing about horology, because this is an absolute icon of horology. Alright, for the next watch of the selection, let's go to Saint Martin, a brand that I absolutely love and that people mock me for pronouncing this way, but I'm going to still pronounce it that way. Sorry guys. Saint Martin is a brand that I really like very much and that I admire. However, I am not going to discuss their homages or their proxy homages, even though they have exceptional watches on that respect. I am going to discuss what is, I believe, the favorite watch from them, the original model SN0116. And why do I talk to you about this one? First of all, because it was the first real viable Saint Martin original model, and that is saying something. For years, Saint Martin had been delivering outstanding, amazing quality, but on watches that were actually just copies of our models. models, and that is not adding too much to the world of horology. But when they put all that quality that they had gathered and they put it on their own designs, then it makes a pure player, something that can really compete at the best levels, I believe. That is why this watch, some may not like it, but that is why this watch is, I believe, so important and pretty much deserves the hype that it got. It is a little bit less hype now, but it does deserve the hype. And I believe that Saint Martin are beating on that horse, and that is totally understandable. I really hope it works for them. I really think that they now might need another home run on their models. But what do I know? Look at Rolex. They have like 2 models that they decline infinitely and it works perfectly for them. So what do I know? But in any case, Saint Martin are starting to decline this watch a lot, which is perfectly good, perfectly okay. They have now come out with the fruit versions, which is a playful twist to this formula, and that is just great. But at around $200 to $250 for this watch, you cannot go wrong. You get so much for this watch. It is a GMT on this version. You also have it with the classic NH version, and I have worn this watch so much. I have gone swimming with it in the cold sea. It does have a GMT, so it helps me track the time zones for my family abroad, and it is beautiful, well made, with an interesting bracelet. You have everything that you need on this watch, really, and you have an original design, so no snob can tell you, oh, but that is a copy, it's just a copy. No, not anymore. This is an original design, so there you go. The next watch of the selection, of course, you know, the people who follow me, you know I'm gonna talk about this watch, the Citizen Tsuyosa. This watch got a lot of hype when it came out in August 2022, and really deservedly so, because it had taken the formula that the PRX laid out, the formula of the integrated bracelet watch, but put a very Japanese twist to it. They put their own movement on it, a Miyota 8 series. Some might consider that a little bit basic as a movement, and it is. That is one of the weak points of the Tsuyosa, but they put it on a really interesting package, a package which costs less than half what the Tissot PRX costs, which is absolutely incredible. It does have a sapphire crystal, an automatic movement, and it is just extremely well built for a watch for $300. It costs up to $250. I have even seen it at $250 and even less here in Europe. So it is just a wonderful watch that they have declined. We have seen those small seconds coming out that I have right here and that I have reviewed on the channel as well, and that has a better movement with 60 hours of power reserve. They have shown that you can build things that are attractive, that are really well built, that people want, and that you do not need to overprice them. So for that, kudos Citizen. And if you have not checked the Citizen Tsuyosa, go ahead and check it, like right now. I really did not know if I should talk to you about this watch. It is the Boderry Voyager. I talked to you a lot about this watch. I decided to include it because around a year ago it had a huge hype. I really believe that it does deserve that hype because it has not gone to their heads. The pricing has remained stable. Boderry has released other models that are correctly priced as well, and this watch is just great for what it is. It offers great lume, it offers a sapphire crystal, a Seiko NH35 in there, a great military style, really good lume, and 200 meters of water resistance. Oh, and did I mention that this is a fully titanium case, and all that for less than $100? That is why this watch was so great and so important. The downsides to this watch is that, well, it is a little bit strange on that log to log, which is a little bit big at 49 millimeters, and makes it wear quite large, especially on that full titanium bracelet, so be aware of that. But for the price, it is an outstanding watch that I totally recommend. I don't know if the hype is still that high, I do not think so, but the hype was there and was huge. I mean, Boderry couldn't keep up with the demand. That is why I'm including this watch in this video. The last watch of the selection, and one of the least expensive ones, of course. How can I make this video and not talk about the Casio Duro? You know about the Duro, come on, I have spoken about it so many times. And the good thing about the Duro, the good thing about Casio, the good thing about all of these watches, I should have said this at the beginning, but but none of these brands have taken the wrong path and just increased prices indecently because these watches were hyped. None of them have done that, and that is why they're on this list. The watches that have done that are not on this list and absolutely do not deserve the hype according to me. But this one has not done so. It costs only $48, right under $50, and it is amazing. 200 meters water resistance, a little bit large, but you all know that. But it has become pretty much a staple of entry-level watchmaking divers. It is a classic. It is hype, totally. Does it deserve that hype? Absolutely. The Casio Duro, you know you can count on this watch for whatever you're doing. That's been it for the review, guys. I hope it was useful. If it was, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can find here other videos that are gonna help you maybe choose your next watch. Here are the best offers that I can find on Amazon and AliExpress. And here are, on the contrary, some other watches that I totally recommend that you do not buy. Thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you very soon on that video.